Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. I have with me the wonderful Lemon and the beautiful Lady Rain. And they're both here to play some Stardew tonight. I hope you're doing awesome. Now I gotta still push all my buttons on my notifications, but I hope you guys are doing awesome. Of course you gotta scream at me, Rain.
Always.
It wouldn't be a stream without Rain screaming at me. Hit post on all my socials so that people know I'm live. Yes, I'm alive, but you know what I mean, live.
Well, thank goodness you're alive.
I know, right? Woke up another day.
Oh my god, Crowley. Oh, baby.
He is such a lug.
Let's see, who am I going to? Speaking of Crowley, I'm going to ping Crowley that I'm live because they wanted to play.
Ping them.
Let's see. We're live, by the way.
Rain.
Baby.
You sweet boy.
And then you put that in chat too. It's good to be alive.
Hush. No, I want to hold you.
Just want to hold you and squeeze you.
You don't want to squeeze him. He's gassy.
He's gassy. Oh no.
Always.
Sounds about right.
Okay, how did I not do one for this one?
Be nice to him, Puddles.
Paste.
Be nice. Puddles. Be nice.
Puddles nice? You're asking a lot.
He was gonna go after Monty for literally no reason.
He's existing.
And he kept like turning back. I'm like, dude.
What are you doing?
That's his best bud though. He's gotta go after him.
Well, if he goes after Monty, then Monty gets going, and I really don't want to deal with that right now.
I feel that. Dog zoomies are a lot worse than cat zoomies.
Oh no, Puddle zoomies are awful because he's just a 20-pound missile at who knows what speed.
Cheers. Oh, match.
I don't.
Look, close enough though. I'm proud of you.
Similar color.
All right, let's load this co-op game.
Different though. Hi, baby.
I may switch it up.
You may switch up?
I literally was just gonna say I may switch it up because I have the ingredients to make lemon drops.
See?
That's funny. Yeah, this is new from our local brewery in Kansas City.
So for the first time, I actually see somebody else hosting a farm that I could like jump into and join one of my Steam friends or something.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, who's playing?
Go lay down. Go.
Oh, it's Choo Choo. Choo Choo's playing. I could join Choo Choo's farm. Zero effort is what it's called.
That's my vibe.
Join Pizza Palace Farm. Zero effort. Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, that's not what I wanted to do.
Oh, okay, we're doing hacks. Fine. Frostlass, hi Six. Welcome. Hope you catch Frostlass if you're catching Pokemon. I hope you're having a good Friday, Six. Welcome. Right. Microsoft, yes, allow SMAPI to do its thing. Got one of those Windows defenders. Do you want to allow SMAPI to do blah blah blah? I'm like, yeah, please.
What are you doing? Oh
we are trying to play a game.
It's like, Mom, just hold me like a baby.
If it loads.
Just hold me like the baby I am.
then...
Do you want to share your purrs?
Oh, that was so cute! Oh my god. That was precious. Thank you for sharing, kitty cat.
I love his little asthmatic purrs.
I know, he's so cute. He turned 9 years old this week.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Right?
god.
You're
So
such
why
a
is
grumpy
Stardew not loading? Load already! So it's not responding.
Huh?
Windows said no. I may have to restart it again. They worked earlier.
What are you doing?
I'm just watching.
Hack's farm is broken.
Well, why'd you break it?
I don't know. I blame updates. Alright, I'm gonna close it. Alright, let's try again. Let's try again. Restart. It may be that I need to restart Vortex as well. I don't know.
Oh, hey, KimonoKat is playing Stardew Valley.
Oh. Yes. Maybe she'll let us play. Maybe she'll host her game.
I'm sorry.
If it works.
Good boy.
Yay! It's working.
Hey!
You guys can join. Thank goodness. I want to join. I'll take it off Big Me. Waiting for the things to go away. There we go.
Leo.
Hi. Ad break ins. Of course, we're on the ad break as I finally get in here and start up everything. Okay, so this is group 2. No, this is group 1. No. What group are we? We're pink. We're purple
1.
today. Okay. So we're group 1 and we're purple today. Oh, I don't have my notes for that one. I have my notes for my other 2 saves and I don't have my notes for this save. Yeah.
I can't help you.
Well, there are 100 million crops on the farm. Let's see. And do we still need gold parsnips? Because we probably have them. We don't have anything on this farm yet?
Not really.
We're on day 13. Guess we don't even have...
Oh, no, we don't need it because we have a different bundles.
Oh, that's right. I don't remember where we left off at all. I feel so lost right this minute.
It doesn't look like have we gotten to the bottom of the mine? Because I still have it in my thing.
Aw, yeah, for the carrot.
We haven't, but we have. Oh, the egg
Oh,
festival.
the egg festival! Oh, shit.
Let's go beat Abigail's ass.
Okay.
Fuck you, Abigail.
I'm using my magic watering can and watering part of these crops real quick.
Oh, here, I can help.
Especially since I'm not even worried about watering them all. Do you ever do that? Just go in some days and just water some of them? Just to know you made an effort. Let's see. Okay, and then I'm just gonna. Oh, yeah, because we were keeping our own individual chest, I guess, and doing stuff.
Yeah. I think we were like all, I don't know, because I had to sign off early, but I think we were like all doing our individual, most everything, really.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right. We were just living our best lives. Then, yeah, I don't know. I gotta remember. I should have made notes. All right. I think I was just busy teaching everybody too.
Ooh, do I want a lawn flamingo?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, they. Yeah. So I still have to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
And the dog's barking.
You can hear the dog. You should just hear the floor. Oh, I heard the dog that time. That was so cute.
Sounds.
That's where everybody is tonight. They're all watching the NFL draft.
Something like that. I know some of the other boys are hanging out in a different Discord server. Alright, I'm ready to kick Abigail's butt.
Alright, let me just talk to a few more people.
It's you. I'm gonna miss talking to somebody, and I don't know who it is yet, but I'm sure I've missed somebody.
Poor Sam and his allergies.
I feel that though.
Same.
I can't talk to
Alex
him because
eats
he's behind the counter.
3 eggs every day.
Did I accidentally buy a bunny plush?
Alright. I'm ready.
I'm buying the bunny. And I need some flamingos for lawn. Forgot we can buy whatever we want, right?
Yeah. I bought some strawberry seeds too.
Oh, good idea.
Did I miss anything?
Need all the flamingos. Just saying. Six. It's been such a long week. Are you glad it's over, Six? No. We are hiding experience. Right? This big thing. Talk to everybody. I think so. Is everyone ready for the egg hunt? Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
Okay.
I'm kicking Abigail's
Call
butt.
dibs on rain.
Stop.
Fastest person in the West.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Fuck yeah.
We know Abigail's not gonna win.
She better not. I'll be pissed.
So you remember Cam? He hasn't graduated high school yet. I don't think he was an early graduate. No, because he wrestled at States. He is.
Mom, we want to kick her butt. Sam! Bastard.
He already took my egg corner. I've only got 3. Where are they all at?
It's hard with other people.
It is, because you usually have your route, and then you're like, no,
Yeah.
that's brain.
You actually have to look for them.
No. 40-hour training?
I don't-
Oh.
Well, now we know where all the eggs went.
Who got them? How many did you get?
I think I got 9 or 10.
Holy. Oh, I see one hiding behind that bush.
Hey! Fuck you, Abigail.
Yeah.
Winner of this year's egg contest.
Told y'all I was gonna beat her ass.
Rain. Rain in the straw hat. And then here's Rain. I'll trade you a straw hat for a trash can lid. Oh. I wonder how our babies are.
We have babies already? Oh,
Well, no,
animals.
Animals, yeah. Well, there's
I
one
was like,
baby in
God
here.
damn, it's the 13th day of the year.
Oh my god. Just saw its name. Rain's been here. Its name was interesting. Oh, that's what I needed to do, was buy animals. And we have no food in our barns. What is with that? Didn't we have a thing chest full of straw? Yeah, we do. No, I didn't want to go in. I just wanted to shut the door. The animals will stay in there for the night, so I can take care of them in the morning. Personally, there. Do you have a thing of wood to build a chest in here too? Do. Drink the mayo. I want to make a mod that lets you get cow's milk. Crow's milk? Oh, I read that wrong. Crow's milk. Why?
Whoa! Challenge it.
It's like, what? A wild Grimer appeared. Okay, I'm guessing everybody's in bed. I probably should be.
I am not.
I'm not.
Used incorrectly.
Oh, God. I was getting attacked and I didn't even realize.
That's what I am. I guess I can go to bed now. I said hi
They
to the
put
cat.
it there because there.
No, no, it's 1:30.
No! Go to sleep, Mono. Stop decorating with your flamingos. Hi, honey, I'm home. Let's see. I'll catch Grimer.
Oh, it's storming.
Hey,
It's
do we have any
raining.
lightning rods yet? I doubt it.
No.
Wonderful. So I make
Oh,
sure
we
she
have the
hides.
bus open already?
Yeah,
Oh, right,
we
you
did
have
do
unlimited
that.
money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
wood.
Oh yeah, I
What?
forgot animals are free range.
Yeah, we decided to go free range. Easier that way. Oh, that's where my furnaces are. They're in my house.
I really think he might be having like a stroke, where he recently had a stroke.
Cancer. Yeah, that's the wrong one. That's the one. Put this junk in. Except for the thing for Gunther. Do we still want to do a chest at like the entrance for Gunther stuff? We could.
Yeah, might as well.
I have too much furniture stuff.
Oh, I forgot to put my flamingos down. Fuck.
I gotta figure out where to place this bunny in my house. I guess it's gonna go over here. It's cute. It's a little tiny bunny though. It's just peeking in the corner.
Yo, we're gonna get our asses beat at this festival in the desert. If we're going in the mines, in the skull cavern, or
Oh yeah, because we're
our
not ready
energy
yet.
level,
We're not ready yet.
stock up on something to make sure I don't pass out.
Come on, Kitty, you're in my way. Kitty is being rude.
I mean, they are really good at getting in people's way.
Mm-hmm. Trash, trash, recycle, meat wings. We're gonna try to squeeze that stuff in this other one. And put that out. What bed is that? Did I buy a bed? Why do I have an extra bed?
Oh, probably because you got one with a ticket.
Hmm.
I don't know. Okay, extra bed though.
Sebastian doesn't even know my name. Sad day.
Actually. So can we plant strawberries this time of year?
Yeah. Yep. This springtime.
Hmm. Oh, I only bought one strawberry seed.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's funny. And I think I planted it right where I don't want it, so I'm gonna murder it. There we go. There.
The sonar bobber is awesome, by the way.
Hmm?
Oh,
The
yeah.
sonar bobber?
You can see what's coming.
Yeah.
Trash stuff like Yeah, can. Can I place a lamp outdoors? Probably not. Can I place it on the porch? Nope.
Steelers pick is already in as we go to commercial.
Wrong door.
You little bitch. Sorry. Crab,
what?
lava crab.
I'm a what?
Oh,
No, I would
right?
never.
Oh, so rude.
I would never. Oop, can't kill a slime with a fishing rod.
Oh, I need wood.
No, you cannot.
It's fine.
I'm not gonna lie, Chris Middleton looks like he's like some mid-level thing in summer.
And fuck it in.
Chris Alfredo, oh boy.
Oh, so many slimes.
You got some new ideas. Cause I loved on the babies.
I said hi to the cat.
Nice.
Sometimes the regular people come looking.
Da-da-da-da-da. Somebody said hi to the calves.
Oh, that was me.
Aw.
Oh, God.
Is he smart? Or is he like me? I didn't mean to disturb your Black Panther party. Yeah, they're just
You know, I forgot to look at those to see if any of those other items are around there. Here. Oh, they need an egg.
I
The community center.
mine.
Didn't realize any egg will do.
Oh, I have the one is an 8 leg.
So I'll put that in this chest.
Baltimore Orioles are still winning. Dodgers are
It's already
winning.
6:50
Rangers are winning.
p.m. Dang.
I need the Mets to win. They're in the top of the 6th.
Oh, this is the one you already made it to level 100, right? And I just gotta go collect my stuff in the mine?
Yeah.
No, we're only at level 90.
Oh.
I'm trying to get to 95 before bedtime. We'll see.
And do it. And supposedly now our explosive rings will not damage our farm. We'll find out. I should probably plant a farm of trees for collecting resin and stuff, but
Oh yeah, so we don't run into the issue we have with the other game.
Mm-hmm. It's early enough in the game though that we can just plant our trees, you know?
Yeah. It feels so silly getting weapons drops. I'm like, I don't fucking need this.
Yeah, I know.
Right? You're like, awkward.
Oh,
Thank
thanks. This
you
is
for the
so
trash.
helpful.
Thank you for the trash. Dude.
Remus, I swear to God, if you make me die.
It's like, but Mom, I want to play too.
Ooh, we are not in good health for bats.
Oh no.
Mono, I'm just going behind you and collecting all of the stuff that you dropped.
Oh, it's
Oh.
not Mono, it's me.
Oh, it's you? Oh, gotcha.
I was like, what
Yeah,
did I drop?
my pockets are full, so
Oh, gotcha.
they're full of fish.
Did you get to level 100, Rain?
I just did.
Okay. Then I'm not going to worry about it because I am... Oh, well, maybe I will worry about it. Oh, I didn't mean to raise my sword.
What does it taste like?
It tastes
yes, that's
like...
right. It's asbestos.
Nice.
No. Asbestos. Jeez. I
Mine
would
tastes
go,
like books.
but it's almost, by the time I get over there, it'll be time to sleep, so.
It's okay.
Not even.
Oh, no, I didn't want to go that way.
It looks like it still does destroy stuff, so.
Ooh, right, we don't have minecarts.
Yeah, I know. I just tried to use it.
You can drink coffee!
Yup. Alright, tomorrow I need to chop some trees down so I can make myself some trunks so I can, like, organize my life, because it is utter chaos.
What is
I don't even have
Robin
a
building? A
separate...
silo? I think
Yeah,
she's building
probably.
a silo. Even though we have no grass.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to buy grass.
We all need to build one.
Oh, no, we don't have to all do it anymore, I don't think. I
Oh,
think
we
they
don't?
changed that. Yeah, I think one person will count.
Oh, I don't know where my house is.
Yeah.
Oh, it still says build a silo for me too, but supposedly you fix it. Maybe
I
it'll
think
say
it's
it
because
until it's complete. Yeah. Oh.
I'm coming to bed. It's almost bedtime.
Run! Time to sleep! Every time you come to the house, it gets more and more decorated.
Literally, though.
Wow. Sparrow appeared.
Yeah.
I can make mayonnaise machines!
Heyo! Oh, I love it when I can learn new recipes when I don't have a kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, yep.
Feeding.
Done feeding animals. Yay. And
Happy today. Cool.
Robin's lost axe. Oh. I need to go get Robin's axe and go to.
Oh no. Can't carry them all.
Oh, the chickens are grown up.
I'm trying to put them away for Jay since they all grew.
But there's no food in this barn.
No, I got it. You just have to slowly grab all the flowers.
Does anybody have any extra wood?
There might be some in the rest of my house.
And you guys
I
Uh,
have that if you want.
free range animals.
I don't know where your house is, so I'm just gonna go see if there's any trees
By
I
the-
can chop down at Marnie's.
Versus on
It's
the left.
down at the bottom. Near it's the like has trees.
What did you do to make me
Oh.
nice machines?
Well, I don't have
What
any
can I do?
tree proficiency yet anyway, so.
Stone, wood, earth crystal, and copper. Not earth crystal. Copper. Let's mix it. Yes. 1, 2, 3. Hey, for mayonnaise machines. Hi, Tommy. Hi, welcome. We're doing good. Well, let's just see.
What was that? Sorry.
Remus.
Yeah, I don't even know what he just knocked over. Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
crap.
Desert Festival. Forgot about that.
Yeah, me too. I need to empty my pockets before I can go anywhere.
Yeah, same.
There we go. Oh.
What all do we need for the festival?
No food. Do we need anything?
I don't think we really need anything. We need a sword.
Okay.
How do we get there? The bus?
Mhm.
I'll be there in just a sec. I'm just emptying my pockets now.
Kitty! I was gonna go do stuff today, but no.
No, that's fine.
Festival or something.
It does only take one of us. So.
Oh, we all can't go?
Oh, we can. It's just
Yeah,
we
you
need
can
to
go.
just go on our own.
We can go
Oh,
at our
okay.
own time.
Okay, well that's good.
Oh, Shane's running a booth. Oh, he's selling chicken decals? And there's a blue one? But you have to have requires 60 calico eggs. How the heck do I get calico eggs? Is it buying them somewhere? Crispy bass? What you got over here? Look. Oh, I found some calico eggs in the ground. Oh my god, that cactus is a crab. There's blue chickens out here? What the heck? Is that a purple chicken?
Purple chickens?
There's an alien? No, a snail? What? They're lighting up for a race. What? Cactus crawler. There's a cactus crawler, a blue chicken, and a snail lining up for a race. Or something.
What's the egg for?
Their currency.
Oh.
To buy stuff. Like, you can go buy stuff from Shane.
Of course Shane's selling pizza.
Suspicious guy, eye on the race, kid. We can talk later.
Ah,
I don't even know who this guy is.
hey, he gave me calico
Sam.
eggs for doing the thing.
I'm just hanging out with the bird. She sees there's an actual live flamingo. And Sebastian's hanging out with it.
Oh, I don't know if I have enough fishing proficiency to be able to catch
Are you
any
ready to
sandfish.
welcome a new cactus in your life? Yes. Great, let's see.
There we go.
Oh my god, what is
It's
that?
the easiest one to catch.
It's a match made in heaven? Oh my god. The
Maybe I'm thinking
female
this scorpion
cactus.
carp.
I think I just got a girlfriend and she's a cactus. Don't even know what to say.
That sounds very painful.
No?
Wait, what's the challenge? Okay.
Oh, we can we even get in the mine because we don't have the skull key?
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Apparently.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll let you get in the mine even during the festival.
Well, if there's a
Like the
challenge
busiest time
for
of
it.
year for me. It's nice to be able to see everyone. Oh, what does Emily got? Clothes for sale? Just step in the box and we'll fix you up. Oh god. She's gonna change my fashion style or something.
Makeover.
Okay, before we
What not to
continue,
wear?
let me visualize your aurora to see what kind of style
God, I
will
remember
make
watching
you
that show.
happiest.
Oh my god, I love that show.
Yes, I see. Oh my god, what is she gonna do to me? Coming in, so don't be alarmed. Yikes, sorry if that hurt. Let's trim this a little here.
Oh.
Whoa, that's way too much. There. Yes, I can feel it in your inner self and outer self are now in perfect alignment. I can't wait for you to see the new you. Oh no, what did she do to me? I'm scared. All my clothes got thrown off and put into my inventory. Let's see what I look like. Can I come out?
At least
yet?
they gave them back to you.
You're looking great. Yeah. Come back another day and we'll put together a fresh new look for you. Yeah, I have a skirt on and suspenders at the same
Oh,
time.
nice.
I'm pretty sure that's suspenders.
It's like my skirt
Oh,
kind of
no.
thing.
And of course you got interested. If you smell something good, it's the coconut oil I rubbed all over my skin. Oh, Haley.
Oh.
I'm going all in with this desert feeling. Yeah, I'm just watching these little guys race. It's
What?
cute.
Ooh, there's red cabbage seeds.
No, I didn't.
Do we need red cabbage this time?
Probably. Oh, I didn't come up here yet. There's all kinds of stuff. What is this person doing? Eating? Chef? Why, hello there. Hungry? Yes. Oh, chef. I'm very pleased to hear that. Slurp. I'd like
I am
to
not
make you a
always
very
thank
special
you. This
dish.
is a
Something
different
perfectly suited for your unique taste. May I?
You're right. I am always in a cave.
Ooh, giggles. Very good. Now what will you have? Party beans.
It's either that or I'm fishing.
Cave loaf, rare fruit, extremely sharp
Seafood.
cheddar, or shrimp.
Great.
Try rare fruit.
We do not need a red cabbage.
Rich marinara, creamy mushroom cream, pungent garlic, or uncomfortable hot sauce. Let's go to hot sauce. Healthy drizzle of uncomfortable hot sauce to round out the dish. What is he making?
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, random dish.
A rumbled fruit skin. What?
Interesting.
And then I ate it? Plus 3 energy. I didn't even get to hold it. I automatically just ate it. Yeah, here's my girlfriend. Look. Apparently she has eyelashes and all that good stuff on. Ah, alas. Looks like decent weather for fishing, eh? Of course you have a board about fishing. Willie's challenge: catch 3 sandfish.
Oh, I got a cactus girlfriend too.
A cactus girlfriend?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fuck?
A match made in heaven. And see. So isn't this like a 3-day festival too? So if you don't get to do everything,
Yeah, we
you
can
can come back, right?
tomorrow.
Thank goodness, because I'm not gonna get about that.
Obviously, I need to see what my fashion comes out as.
Yes. You can do it each day, so you can get a whole bunch of clothes.
Oh, I'm like Lara Crofting it over here. Wearing brown pants and a cropped white tank top.
The sunfish. What fish am I supposed to be catching? A sandfish.
Sandfish.
So I'm gonna catch 3 before the end of the festival.
I think it's for the day, actually.
You do look
I
like
was
Laura
just able
Croft.
to accept it again, so I'm doing it again.
Oh, were you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you catch all 3 fish?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did too.
Oh.
But I got finished with it too late to start the mine, so I just figured I'd do the Skull Cavern tomorrow.
I'm just catching trash. I don't understand.
I am too.
Oh, well, maybe because of the time of day.
Maybe you guys should get good.
Oof. Pair of challenge for you. Choose. Complete one with a guild. Will reward you with a bounty of calico eggs. Once you select the challenge, you won't be able to change your decisions, so choose carefully.
Good night.
Oh yeah, we should all
And then
probably go
today's
home.
highest egg rate to go. Yeah, I'm sad. I didn't get to do everything.
We'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting 3 sandfish before.
Yeah. I think I got like trash. I don't know if it's time of day or what.
He's fine. Oh my god, you guys are already home.
There's a berry.
We hijacked the bus and left you there.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll make it. I swear to God.
One
Sorry, I was awkwardly
hand.
walking home with Gus and Alex, so that was weird.
Yeah.
Oh dang. They got on like right before I did. Oh. I still managed to make it.
Oh god.
Yeah.
My speed.
I got distracted putting things in bins.
I did too. I was like, and then I saw Rain run past me, and I was like, okay, I got it. Somebody threw away bombs?
Yeah, I didn't need it. It was in my pocket.
Can you buy as many as you want somewhere or something?
I can make them appear out of
I think you
nowhere.
can buy them from the dwarf.
You can't do that. Not allowed.
You can buy them from the dwarf.
Okay. It's somebody new home. Wanted to let you know if your store is now selling fertilizer. Why don't you swing by and see if you can afford a few dozen boxes or so? Oh. Fertilizer. Alright, back to trying to figure out my life and organize everything. Because apparently I have clothes to put in my dresser now. Because Emily's gonna keep making me naked or something.
Where'd I get an egg?
From there, it's the currency. It's currency.
No, I have an actual egg in my inventory.
Oh, I don't know. Animals?
That's weird.
Nobody caught the Pokemon. That's sad.
I also didn't try to.
There's berry bushes everywhere.
I love how I just keep throwing stuff into my chest.
Mhm.
To the point that I
Okay.
actually have to make another one.
Oh. What I'm doing, I'm throwing it all in there and keeping it all, except for silver. Silver I'm selling.
I'm basically just hoarding or selling everything. If it doesn't go into the community, it gets hoarded.
Yeah, I'm hoarding and selling silver.
Someone needs to bring a hoe.
Oh, because of
I'll bring
wiggly
it.
spots.
That's fine, I'll grab it. Yeah. I should learn by now, like, hey, just take a fucking hoe.
Just take your tools. You've got enough room.
Has it already started?
I don't think so. I think they're all going first.
Okay.
Oh,
Now it is.
there it goes.
I'm pretty sure it's...
I need to chill on trying to find a spot for everything.
Firestar! Meep! I'm a hoe. Oh no. I found your hoe, Rain. Apparently it's Firestar.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
I've
see
walked
this sign.
10,000 steps. Cool.
Heck yeah.
Alright. Now that I don't know what I'm doing, because my brain is like, go to the festival. That's all I can think about. Oh, there they all go. They're all going with me. They're all getting on the bus. Come on, Rose. Go.
Oh, we totally just left Robin. Leo.
Should be fine.
There's a boot racing today. I don't
Boot
even know.
racing.
There's a boot with a hat racing.
Oh, Leah and Alex are selling things.
Oh.
100 hardwood for 3 eggs? Hell yeah.
Alright, let's see what kind of outfit I get today, because I'm not completely happy with the one I got this time.
Oh, we can get a muscle remedy from Alex. We can also get his back.
What is that? Allowed to post this chat while modded? What is that? It's just like little circles.
Oh, I need more bookcases, though.
Or maybe I can't see what it says.
Oh, I'm in a anime school uniform.
Oh, it's the trap emote? Weird.
What do the bookcases do?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Duh.
I don't know, they're just decoration.
Oh, gotcha.
No, Emily.
Okay. Alright, I'm wearing this little pink.
No.
No, that's you.
What'd she do to you?
You look
Anyway.
cute. Okay. I'm wearing like a toga.
Where'd you run, Shannon?
I got like a toga on.
Here.
Yeah. Here, this is what I look like. Oh. I love that you're wearing something I'd wear. I don't think I'm wearing something you'd wear.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me
about the
keep
anime
cooking
school.
them.
Yeah. I'd probably wear what Mono's wearing, though.
Alright, what do you got? Stuff. They cost stuff. Bombs. They cost. You sell bombs. Nice. Oh, look at that bed. It's gorgeous. Midnight beach double bed. I need that. A dark piano. There's like a goth piano. That's so cool. There's the magic turban that changes all kinds of colors. The butterfly hutch.
Nachos of the desert. Hell yeah.
Nachos.
Alright.
Alright, what is this little creepy looking guy? Oh, he sells mystery. You can get 10 mystery boxes for 20 calico eggs.
Yeah.
Or,
Well, no, you get it costs 20 for one.
oh,
Yeah, that's I
no,
was getting
no, it's
excited
10.
about the hardwood for
It's
the
10.
same reason.
It has a 10 on it.
Yeah, I know. I already bought 2.
And you only got 1 each time?
Yup,
Even though it says 10?
yup, that's how many are
Weird.
available.
Oh, dang it. Well, that's dumb. That's misleading. Hey, it's the cart lady. She's got apple saplings. She's got all her trees and the cabbage seeds that you bought already. And rare
But
seed.
I already have the trees.
Let's see. Because you're already growing them?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Play 10 serpents. Oh. Okay. That's our challenge?
Ooh, I could use the honey for crafting.
Crystal
I need tomato
shoes.
for the community center. Cactus, maybe.
Alright, I guess I'll be Cinderella.
Let's see, I wonder if I need those. I do! I need all those that I just grabbed for the community center. That's awesome. The tomato, the cactus, and the honey. Trying to care for a test of knowledge. If you can answer my questions correctly, you'll earn a prize. What you
Ooh,
say?
I just got a rabbit's foot.
Excellent. Now for the
Hell
first question.
yeah.
Where are we? Calico Desert. Correct. When is Pierre's shop normally closed? Wednesdays, right?
Yes.
Yes.
How much does a chicken cost? 1,500, right? Or is it 1,800? Oh,
Oh, I don't know.
a cow's 1,500. So chicken's probably 8. Oopsie. Correct. 4 questions. How many garbage cans are there in Pelican Town? Oh God, I don't know.
Okay, wait. There's the
6?
bar. There's the
2,
mayors. There's the
4,
old
5.
people's. There's Jody's. There's
8?
Emily's. And then and then there's does Clint's count as town? So there's Clint's, the
3
museum,
up there.
and then
there's 3
the
up there.
Jojo Mart.
So there's
So
3, 3, and 2. 8.
I just googled it.
I just like to
Yeah.
say that I knew that, which was I probably shouldn't brag about.
Fine.
Okay, alright. What was my prize? The eggs?
I don't know.
Oh, I got more eggs.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I got 56 eggs now. Cool. Shrouded figure. I can send you home for 250 gold. Oh, you can teleport home.
Oh my god. Well, that's helpful.
Oh, okay. Find any goods? Linus helped me find eggs in the trash. Just saying, guys.
Hey
Oh yeah.
y'all, there's a good chance I'm gonna die in the mines tonight.
I just got quality sprinkler.
Oh hell yeah!
What did he say? You're gonna catch a scorpion thingamajig?
Scorpion carp.
It's a pretty difficult one to catch.
Yeah, my bar is too small.
So this might be a year 2 festival thing, doing the fishing.
For you.
Yeah.
Fishing's up.
Not for me.
World's best fisher.
Because it's night again and I'm like too trash again.
I've never gone actual fishing.
Like,
Sorry, I can
so
make you
what
scream
did the
louder.
sign say about the mine? What are we supposed to do in here?
There's a
cat
challenge.
statue.
We're trying to slay the dragons.
Yeah,
I need to take this home. How do I take this home?
you can't. I just killed 2.
Jump in, let's go for it. Fell 5 levels, holy cow.
I think I've killed like 3. It looks like we just need 3 more, but I don't know if we're
2
gonna
more.
get that.
What are you supposed
One
to
more.
kill 3 of what?
Damn!
I just happened to find a bunch of them. Serpents.
What are we killing?
The dragon things. Oh, there's the last one.
Hey! Thanks, Rain.
Calico eggs, thank you for the eggs. Yeah, caught up to people. And then I passed them.
Rose.
Yeah. There's another kitty cat! It's getting late. Oh no! I think we gotta leave.
Come on.
I was just starting to have fun.
Yeah, they're like hit or miss on if they're actually gonna be helpful though.
Oh, but there's
Kind of
chests in
scary.
here. I just got 5 mega bombs. Yes.
Nice.
And a diamond. Okay, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna teleport home so that I can get there on time.
Where's the teleport guy?
He's up
Oh,
top.
I see him. Yep.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah. Yes. Whoa, why did it get all weird looking?
Think
What do
he
you
gave
mean?
us drugs.
I know, I saw wizard drugs. A green, woo, swirly, sparkly, green, mossy colored screen. A deerling appeared and all the traps. Hey, we can build staircases now.
So I think this is the last day of the festival, but I know I found a lot of shit that I can put in the community center, so I'll do
Me
that
too.
after the.
I'm gonna put them in that chest right here. Everything I got that goes over that way.
Yeah.
That way, whoever goes that way can take it. Go catch the wild deer. Oh, I forgot to drop my clothes.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah. Alright, I'm out of there. You can get in there now.
And I'll put my clothes away.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm putting my clothes away.
I'm just not even gonna wear clothes to the thing.
That's a good idea. Just go naked.
Ooh, I got access to Emily's sewing machine.
Go naked. Take off your clothes. Let's see. Oh, that's trash. Trash. It won't fit. Can I get rid of those?
Sorry.
Disgusting.
No worries. I can. Thank God. That's way. Feeling escaped. No one caught it. Oh dear. Hi, chickies. We all need food. We all need food.
I want
Because there's
food.
no grass. I gotta buy grass once this festival's open. We have to buy
Oh,
grass.
in game.
Yeah, I'm tired of feeding these animals every day. That's so mean. I'm tired of feeding these animals every day. Why can't they feed themselves?
Well, I've got fiber. I've got a lot of fiber, so we can start planting grass.
You can plant grass from fiber?
Yeah, you just make a grass starter. You have to buy it from peers.
Oh yeah, you buy a grass. Sorry. Yeah. But I was gonna say, what does fiber have to do with grass starter? You can't craft grass starters. Can you?
Yeah, you can. There's a recipe. You just use fiber to make
Oh.
it.
Oh. Maybe I haven't unlocked that yet.
I'm gonna take things to the community center before I forget.
I'm gonna take mine tomorrow. Try and maximize my time
That's
at
fair.
the festival.
Yeah. There's so much stuff. Just want to teleport to the festival.
I'm on.
All right, today's outfit.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
Oh, that's something.
Something.
wearing
Oh god.
I'm wearing a crab cake shirt, y'all.
A crab cake shirt.
Interesting.
Literally called a crab cake shirt.
I'll be there in a minute and I'll check it out.
I just got the minecarts repaired. You're welcome.
Oh,
Thank you. With
I
community
happened
center
to
stuff.
get a ruby and an aquamarine while I was in the mines.
Awesome.
That's all we needed.
All right, let's see what my outfit is. Can I skip that part and it just like be done and I just come out? Yeah, you can totally skip. You look great. I don't know about that. Crack another day, put together a fresh new look for you. I feel like I don't know. I don't know what's with my shirt. I feel like something out of
I think it's a Hawaiian shirt.
maybe.
at
It
least
looks
it's not
like
a crab cake shirt.
it looks like something out of the. Does it tell me what the shirt is? Hold on. Oh, it is a crab cake shirt. Be slathered with aioli for your enjoyment. Bon appetit. Farmer pants. God, I'd rather be naked.
I feel like I smell like crab cakes.
Why is people standing around? Did you hear? It seems the old town bus started working again overnight. What? You're a little slow.
Oh my god, she really loves this crab cake shirt.
Oh, did you get one too?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh my
winning!
A periodic table! Demetrius! Oh my god, my autistic brain is so happy. Fuck it. I need it. I have to have the periodic table.
They're just buying all the things. Who had that?
Hey!
No. Abigail has a bow and Abby's Anchetta, level 8
Planchette.
dagger.
What do you think? Slay
Made of
10 purple
marble?
slimes or reach level 30?
Plus 4 critical.
I can easily reach level
Weird.
30.
How? Oh. Level 30 it is!
I still want to know what this suspicious guy is like.
Like, how else?
Ah, look at that crab cake. You got farmer pants too? I bet Ray knows as well.
Yeah, we all have the same freaking outfit.
We're triplets. She thinks she's funny.
I love that Abigail's selling 2 things.
There's a scorpion in the race today. Ah. A scorpion. Oh, what is this one? I didn't even like this one. Going into the cave can be real dangerous. I hope there's no accidents. I'll still be here just in case. Oh, he's there with his emergency tent.
I wish he was always there with an emergency tent.
Literally.
Right? Reach level 30 in the skull cavern?
Yep. Easy task for me.
Well, no. Fuck your grandparents.
I ain't catching no stinking fish.
Your daddy 2 times for naming you that.
You gotta actually get the father.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Looking for it.
Catch a bobber?
Well, yeah, it comes in a treasure chest.
NFC Championship game. 5'11", 180.
Yes.
Oh, that was a quick death.
Oh, that is dark.
Ooh.
Is there
Very
any way to
unfortunate.
kill these bugs?
Which ones? Oh, the armored ones? I don't
Yeah.
think so. Not that I found anyway.
Yeah, I haven't ever either.
They're just there to be in the way, I guess.
Rude.
You.
Rude.
Not 4-3, but
Oh shit!
we had a
Kitties! I love the cat. Those weren't there before.
It's part of the event.
Oh, are you going on a nice little walk together in the mines?
Yes, in our matching shirts and pants. I can't get over that.
I'm over here trying to get to
We-
level 30.
We need like a screenshot of all of us, so all 3 of us together in our matching outfits before we take them off. Cause that's just nuts. Oh, I need those for crafting.
Too funny. I will be changing when I
8
get
levels? Don't change right away. We gotta take a photo first. Don't change until we take a
commemorative
photo.
desert photo.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we can take it not in the desert if we run out of time, but it would be cool to take it in the desert if we have time. Oh, is that another diamond? Oh, that's regular stuff. And then what is that? Is that an egg?
The
Oh,
orange
just
thing?
random eggs. Yeah, just random eggs laying around. They look like a rock.
Oh, I should
Yeah.
go buy things because
Oh,
we're
here's
almost out of
something.
time.
Yeah. I only have 17 eggs right now.
Did you make it to level 30?
No, I'm on 25 though.
Yay.
Where's all my bombs? There we go.
26.
I'm collecting all this coal. Like, yes.
Why can't I place this bomb? Jesus.
Mm. Oh no, my help! Eat a pizza. Yes.
Yeah, you have to keep an eye on that.
This creepy crawlies after me. Is this the dragon things or whatever? What are
Yeah.
they? Void
The
essence.
serpents.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Does the full refresh affect you guys too?
It does.
Sweet.
Yeah, apparently. I was like dying and then I ate something and apparently I didn't need to eat it.
Oh yeah, I just got a cat statue, so.
Did you?
Well, I didn't get it. It was just the level I was on had one. And
That's
that was the
cool.
effect that it gave. It doesn't always give that effect though. Sometimes it's a negative effect. Almost there. I'm on 29. Oh, 30.
Yay!
Oh, what was the chicken? How much did the chicken cost?
It was 800.
What's the chicken?
Oh, I'm doing the quiz.
Oh yeah.
Who has the quiz?
Me. Oh, the guy over by the guy with the totem.
Far right, top far right.
Oh
okay,
man, I'm
okay.
so close to being able to buy magic rock candy. Oh.
All the people left.
Yeah, that's been nice.
Can I get another cactus girlfriend if I talk to this guy again?
I guess I'm just gonna buy.
You don't
a
have
whole
enough
bunch of this
space.
stuff. Alright, well, there's that.
I want another cactus girlfriend.
A wedding ring recipe?
Yeah.
No luck.
Save that for later.
Yeah, I bought it. Okay, now I gotta get home.
Ooh,
Oh
yikes.
god, I'm gonna pass
Oh, God.
out.
I'm
I
still
just
in
want out of the
desert.
desert.
Shit.
I want out of the desert.
I think I'm gonna be the only one who makes it home.
Probably. But at least I'm not in the desert anymore. I'm on the farm. Where it's safer. And I made it in the house. And I made it in the bed. Yes. Oh my god, how did I make it in the bed?
Let's go.
Minecart's.
Minecart.
Woohoo! Turn on the light in here.
Yo, are you saying hello to your friends?
So yeah, he can't read.
Honey, you can't lay in my lap.
Why
Oh,
not?
try though.
Adorable.
She's so cute. I just
Oh, picture. Don't leave, lady.
picture.
Let's come. Let's go. I don't know where. Where do we want to
Let's go to
stand?
the waterfall.
Good idea. Yeah. Let's see. In our little crab cake shirts, if we can get all organized here. Okay. Let me grab a thingamajig.
It's a nice little formation there.
Right?
Right?
We know how to pose.
We did a good job.
We really should have a modeling agency instead of a farm.
Alright. Save
Where's Haley
us.
when we need her?
Right.
Grab. Triplet. Stardew 2024. That's enough signal swallowing. Crab
I love
triplets.
that the
Stardew
chickens are in the
2024.
shot.
Yep. Oh. Okay, you guys can move. I saved it. And I'll post it. Let's see. Discord. Let's go. Games. Oh,
No.
thanks. That's so funny. Oh yeah, I never did post my Genshin pulls the other day. Terrible. I was gonna post them. I took screenshots just to post them, and then I didn't post it. I take so many photos that I never actually use for things.
No, I feel that.
Where'd
Let's
my
see.
original clothes go?
Did you put them in your dresser?
I thought so, but I don't see them in there.
I'm just gonna live with my crab cake, it's fine.
There. Posted a whole bunch of stuff. You can see I didn't use my photos. I'm still standing in the same spot. I hadn't moved.
What? I just opened a mystery box to get 2 more mystery boxes.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. Did you have good luck today? That's cool.
I have no idea. I didn't even look at the look.
Well, I have so many geodes to open, so I'm just gonna go. I
forgot
never
what
even
game
knew that
accounted
they
for.
that the luck affected it.
I don't know.
It may not. I don't know.
It can.
Da-da-da.
Hey, I got a treasure chest.
Just the one to get. Need any seeds to finish, like, summer and all that. I never did empty my pockets. I'm in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Hey! That was my trash can, just kidding. Hey! Cheers.
Oh, I should go to Clint before I go to the...
I was a little close there.
Oh my god, is that a bow or is that bunny ears? What is that?
Oh, it's a bow. I
They look like
accidentally
little
bought
bat
it at one of
ears
the
or something.
stands.
Oh, that's so cute! I love it though! It's so big and cute.
Now I want one in real life.
Right? Do it. Start a new trend.
I have lots of headbands with bows, but I haven't been wearing many headbands because they hurt my head.
Yeah, after a while. It's like they're only made one size, and that's not adult size.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to town to buy grass starter. That's what I was going to town for. Dang it. I'm tired of feeding these animals.
Ooh, I have enough iridium to make an iridium bar.
Nice.
That's that. And I want to buy grass. Then
I made Clint work overtime.
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
Fuck Clint.
I mean, I don't know how late PR stays open, but I just came out of there too, so I think he worked late as well.
Where would we like our second mineral station to be? To the right?
Station?
Like in the museum?
Oh.
Our mineral section's full, so I was gonna start in the one that doesn't have anything.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you tell I have a little bit of OCD when it comes to it?
No, it's fine.
So I tried to put everything where it needed to go.
Oh no, I'm with you. I just we donated so much that it was full, that's all.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, that was silver, so keep that.
Wait.
Hi, baby.
Okay.
What? Oh, I know you need your medicine, don't you?
Oh, I was gonna put the wolf in there. Oops. No. Okay, good. Let me you guys out.
So I bought the Joja catalog because I just had to know what all
What
the
was
things
the
were
name?
in it.
Uh-huh.
It's all Joja.
Of course.
Really? Yeah. Jack! Lyric, hope you're having a good day. Thank you so much for the lyric, Jackal. Thank you. It's good to see you again. I hope you're having a good Friday afternoon and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much again for that raid the other day. Much appreciated.
We need to donate quality boxes.
Yep.
Didn't even realize.
Boxes. Yeah.
No problem, anytime. Thank you so much.
Oi. Stop trying to type in game.
And he just wants to help.
I don't know how to make this go away now.
I'm just gonna plant all this right here. As we can. And then all the fell asleep where I could feed them and pet them. Oh well. Every day can't be a perfect day. Do what we can on the farm. So I wonder, I was hoping to look through those fixes that ConcernApe did, and I was hoping to look and see if he made it where like you get iridium silver level, animal products, because I don't like that you put iridium eggs in there and you don't get iridium products. And you put silver in there and you don't get silver. I don't know what you get. I don't know if you get gold or not. I haven't paid that close attention. I just know I'm not getting the purple ones back. It's purple.
Yeah.
Put the mayo in here since we can drink mayo. It's my favorite pastime on a farm, drinking some mayonnaise.
Simply the best.
Great. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so I did as a service, I planted grass for the animals. So
Oh, thanks.
they can feed themselves finally.
What is this? He's like half on my lap and half on my desk.
He's like, I'm trying to play too.
Literally, he just put his head on my keyboard. Well, fuck you too, Shane.
What?
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Where is Shane?
He's walking home from the bar.
No, the real
Oh, I meant our
Oh.
Shane. When you're like sitting here saying that, I'm thinking, oh my god, what if he's listening?
Oh no, never that Shane. He knows enough by now.
Oh no, but I'm just saying it'd be funny. I was like, where is he? He's usually lurking. He might have had to work late. Battery's out. Maybe he has a date. Silly.
No, come here.
Let's see. Oh, it's time to go to bed? Crap. I'm just like meandering around doing things and stuff.
Ah, Crowley.
Hey, baby.
Go to bed, go to bed. A wild Weedle appeared. Weedle, Weedle, Weedle. Let's see if I have a Weedle. I don't have a Weedle. Okay, we'll try to catch a Weedle. But not for all. One dang special Weedle.
Be nice.
If I catch it.
Oh.
Be nice.
Ooh. A star shard? Nice.
You're fine. No.
Hey, get out of my crops, you bitch. Sorry, crows.
I heard them. Evil crows.
I mean, it's my fault for not crafting a scarecrow.
Let's see.
One of Puddle's paws is friend. Or paws. That's such sharp paws.
Ooh. Okay, so we're gonna put that in here.
Jody and her cauliflower.
She wants a cauliflower? Do we even have cauliflower yet? No.
I've got some cauliflower over in the trunk next to my house.
Okay. Let's say, because I
Since
see some
I've
still
just been planting
growing.
vegetables. Oh, no, the first one. This one.
Oh no, I'm being nosy.
Okay. It's very unorganized.
That's okay.
Oh, what are these? What are these poor little plants?
It'll get organized eventually.
When I have enough wood.
You said you had a cauliflower you could share.
Oh, yeah. Over here. In the...
It's on my mailbox. Yay! Thank you.
Yeah.
Weedle has been caught! Yay, I caught the Weedle. I still keep forgetting to go get Robin's axe. That tells you anything.
Oh, I don't even think I have that quest yet.
I do, I just keep
Oh, I
forgetting
still need to
grab
go
it.
to the frickin' initiation. Oops.
For what, the mine?
Yeah.
Oh
I've
my
been
gosh.
in there, but I just keep forgetting to go to the...
Right? Oh my gosh, long time radio. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing awesome and keeping well. Thank you so much for the sub, man. 17 months. Holy cow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wait. Thank you. I hope you're doing awesome. It's so good to see you as always. There, we'll get some hype in chat for you.
Hey, Mono.
Uh-huh.
Come here.
See, I don't know. Come here.
I'm at the blacksmith.
Okay. I was gonna go see what's her name, but
Yeah, I gotta show you a secret though.
okay.
Rose might want it too.
What is
I
it?
can only buy regular cows still.
So just meet me over here.
Okay, I'm working on it. I just had to give Jody her cauliflower.
I just had to buy a cow or two.
What's that?
It's time to buy a cow.
No, Piggy just buys the cows. Yes, yes, yes. Every time you do that, I think of Daniel Bryan from wrestling. Oh, I almost dug in the trash in front of everybody. That would have been awkward.
What?
You said over by Clint?
Oh, do you not have it? Or do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are you at?
Here, hold on. I'm coming. Blacksmith.
Okay.
Sorry,
Figure
I
out.
had to show. Over here.
Okay. What is it? Oh, there's a hidden path?
Yeah, come up here.
Oh, there's trash everywhere. And a golden trash can? And an alleyway buffet book? What's that too?
Alleyway buffet. I think it ups your chances of finding
You
things in
learned
the
in
trash.
power.
Well, that's my
Oh!
kind of power.
Where did you find this secret hidey hole? On the internet?
TikTok.
Oh my
Of all
god. I
places. I kept seeing it on TikTok. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that next time I'm in.
The
Yeah.
amount of Stardew related videos I'm seeing on my feed right now is quite high.
Where's Jody at?
In her house.
There's always something new that I don't know. I mean, always.
Here and there. You lied to me. She's not in here.
Oh, she was in her kitchen. She was washing the dishes.
I don't know. This bitch walked away and she's not doing dishes now. Jody, I swear to God.
So what do I have to do? I need wood and stone to do the coop. What do I need? Wood and stone, big barn, big coop, slime hutch.
She's not in the corner.
Finish our foraging for the day. And go through the little the levels of the mine over here because I never did do that.
I'll hopefully be on 105 by the time.
Desi! thank you so much for the stream streak. Thank you for liking and listening and watching and hanging out. Welcome to the streams. Welcome, 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 welcome.
Really? I'm just gonna wait in her house.
I feel like
That's fair.
foraging is
It's
OP,
Friday.
right?
She don't go to the bar.
Let's
No,
see,
instead-
I don't know
Instead, her kids go to the bar, or at least
how
her
Yep.
far
oldest.
I've gone in this one. I did at least that. And 40 and 50 and 60. Oh, 60 has something. Oh, lucky, more trash. Shink.
I think
70.
you can sell them to the Adventurers Guild.
Oh, good to know, because I'd rather get
Oh
rid of some
crap!
of this
I
stuff.
need to go to the Adventurers Guild.
Oh yeah, for your initiation.
Yeah, you had done your initiation.
I'm so concerned about getting far in the mine. I
90.
keep forgetting.
And 100. A star drop. What does it taste like? I don't know. Let's find out. You found a star drop. Your mind is filled with thoughts of feet. I did the
Oh, nice.
feet.
Alright, I just got to 105, so I'm gonna break and go see Marlin.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I know, Puddles. I'm sorry, baby.
Hi.
No, that's not Jody.
Why does it say reach the bottom of the mine still when I just did?
Because you didn't.
It's only at 105.
Oh, it's like 120 in it.
Bottom. Yeah. Jody?
I do need to check the boots. I don't remember if we gave ourselves good boots or not. No, we didn't. 4 and 2. So I need to switch my boots.
No, we did, but.
Who would want to sell their galaxy sword?
Hold up.
Who the heck would want to sell their galaxy sword? Well, no, I never had the Viridian boots or anything. Alright, does Robin go to the barn after the bar?
Yeah, she dances with Demetrius. Are you
Wonder if
looking
I
for
can-
Robin or Jody?
Robin. I want to give her her axe, and I don't know if I can do it after hours, but I'm gonna try. If she's
able
at the
to,
barn.
I mean, you're giving them to her.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's dancing with Demetrius. Let's see. You found my axe! Yay! She let me do it. And then Jody should be in here too, I hope. The cauliflower. Which one's Jody? The orange hair, right? Yeah. No, that's Leia. Where's Jody?
No, Jody's in our house.
Okay.
She's Sam's mom.
She's being a mom and not hanging out at the bar tonight. A lot! Dang it. It's locked, and I can't do it! Really?
He doesn't look like a person that can take pain very well either. Oh no, I did, yeah. Alright, here we go.
Miss Rain has already gone to bed for the night.
No, I have. I actually forgot to hit yes.
Oh no.
Puddle.
Yeah, yay, I didn't have to feed the cows. They're all asleep though.
Yeah, because his
Puddles? I swear to God.
6th overall pick in the 3rd round.
I will lock you in the bathroom.
Poor Puddles.
God damn, this motherfucker looks like he got
He
60.
didn't stop running around and then jumping up onto places where I have breakable glass.
Oof. That's dangerous, Puddles. Chickens still eat their hay. Rude. Alright. Sleepy.
Oh god, I'm at level 118.
Oh no, I'm so close.
I'm gonna try.
Pass out if you need to. I mean, oh, it'll take your best weapons, you're good.
They kind of need.
But I'm gonna stretch and grab some more wine, so I'll be right back.
Ish. Yeah.
Fuck.
It's gonna help. They need shorter offensive linemen so Kyler can see over them.
You at least make it?
No.
No.
Goddamn bat.
How rude. Stupid bat.
So you can sell your rookie cards.
And then I passed out.
Tanner McKees.
Okay.
Ah well. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. Well, I guess should I press OK or no?
Yeah, because Mona hasn't come back yet.
Yeah, I need another second still.
I'm gonna need a couple, so I'll be right back.
Okay, I won't hit okay. I'm back. Megaton escaped. I really don't have that one either. Just saying. So here I was. What a combination. Wine and Briggles.
With 13 in the third.
Welcome back.
Need to go to sleep soon.
Like RL sleep.
Mm-hmm.
We could do just one more day if you want, and then crash. I don't want to keep
Been
you up.
going to bed early lately, so.
Better for you. I've been trying. I've been trying to go to bed around now on work nights. So I get it. Trying to go to bed like an hour before now, actually, and then be asleep by now. But it's my weekend, so I don't have to.
It's not like I really intend to go to bed early. It's just too tired.
You just wind down, lay down, relax. Let's see.
Why?
2 leaks is what allowed us to hit Paul's here. 2 leaks. I'm trying to put something in there every night just in case we need stuff. Really, because it just makes it so convenient that you can pause everybody basically.
Bruh, dude, why are you missing free throws, bro?
Let's see.
Is that like what I think?
Alright, sorry about that.
Welcome back.
That's what Nick said.
I had to
Probably
go to
gonna-
Dahlia's bed.
Aw.
Sorry, we're probably gonna. I thought you said we're probably gonna, and then I cut you off.
I did. This will probably be our last day. Sorry.
Okay. That's fine. You guys know it's almost my bedtime.
It's almost my bedtime right now. It's early for me.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
I feel like in this frame, I look like I'm wearing, like, a business, like... But
Just
it's
something
like...
comfy.
Yeah, it's like a Pete pajama set.
It looks professional though. You can get away with that, like, you know, work cam, all that stuff. You can just be like,
It's not even like it's a sports bra underneath. It's like it's not even.
it looks like a top and a dress shirt. It doesn't look like
I'll wear
pajamas
this to
with
my
a sports
interview
bra.
on Tuesday.
Probably not a good idea.
Yeah, look at this guy in the bottom right. Tell me that motherfucker don't have a strong hand.
I gotta make sure the house is at least slightly different every day that rain comes in.
Okay.
My goal. I heard a crow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I swear to God. Okay. It's outside my house too, bitch. I love crows in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I want to murder them here, which is ironic because, you know.
Cow won't let me pet it. I'm running away. I forgot to buy a thing from Marnie to actually milk the cows. The pail or whatever.
Mm.
And you can't use all your fingers because they have Pringles on them. And you have to stop and lick your fingers and wipe them off before you can use your keyboard.
Classic.
It's
I
a
had
problem.
that issue with cheese puffs yesterday.
Yeah, cheese puffs, Cheetos, anything like that. Oh my gosh. Just certain things that aren't best eaten at a keyboard, but sometimes you just do it anyway. And there we go. Thanks, she's Speedy. Hello, Speedy.
Oh, you're on Big U.
Oh no! Thank you. Nobody said anything.
Where you miss?
I'm building a shed.
Dog house? You can buy a dog house?
Mm-hmm. I have one. Let's have a cat tree.
Oh, there's the cat tree. That's so cute.
Oh.
And a birdhouse.
We can get birds now?
What?
I don't know.
You mean the ostriches?
I've never found an ostrich.
I have one
Do you
in
get them on the
our
island?
one save. Yeah. Get like an egg or something.
Oh.
I can't remember exactly, but we have them on one of our farms, our Hacks 2.0 farm.
Alright, we're officially at the bottom of the mines.
Yay! I got milk. I forgot you can buy your animals heaters for the winter. It's not even necessary, is it? think it used to be
Makes them
necessary.
happy. It still keeps them happy.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I think it helps with their happiness levels or something, yeah. And
Oh.
yeah.
Wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry.
I could hear that one.
Jeez Louise. I'm making Clint work overtime again. Fuck you,
Good.
Clint.
Well,
That's what you get for being a creep.
the Volt Beat appeared. What is that?
Oh, it's Full Beat, like the band.
Oh.
I can just show my taste of music over here. Not really.
And let's go.
He just pushed that kid away?
The hammer. And journal update. Oh, cauliflower. I gotta do the cauliflower thing still.
I don't even remember you in 2006.
No one caught it. Wait. There's a mystery box back there? Slay 1,000 monsters to enter the back room of the Adventurers Guild. And once you do, there's one of those mystery boxes back there.
I don't think it's a mystery box.
It's one of the
It's just a
blue
gift
ones.
box.
Yeah, it's the gift boxes, but when you open them, the last time one I opened had a mystery box in it.
Huh.
Shane, welcome! Thank you so much for the
Yay.
75 months.
There he
Welcome,
is, I
welcome,
found him.
welcome.
Found Shane.
Did you? Yeah, we found him. He's here.
I'll be right back.
We were looking for you earlier in the game, in IRL. But
I don't think they're looking at the screen because we're playing games, honey.
what am I
They're
looking for?
looking at Discord.
Oh, hi.
On in the background.
There he is. I can barely see him wave. Hi.
You're so creepy.
Welcome, welcome,
You decided
welcome.
to marry him.
I did. That's on me.
Let's see, what am I doing here? I guess most of the stuff is going in my house to figure out what to do with it.
I have a dinosaur egg.
Yay!
Hey!
I fished it up.
So we just need to
Shut up.
update the thing. And
Oh shit.
what's that? Because it's
I
getting
keep
dark.
forgetting that things will attack you even while you have your trunk open. Or like your backpack open.
Oh yeah. What's good? Hi, McDuffie. Just chilling on the farm. Gonna go see what I can sell the Adventures Guild. I'm not sure what time it closes though. It closes already, probably.
10.
Aw, I'm not gonna make it. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Well then. I'll just leave all that crap in my inventory and go, what the heck? And wonder why. So does that mean we can sell furniture back to Robin?
I don't know, actually.
That would be cool. I bet we can. Let's see. We're just gonna crowd everything in here. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that looks like a big mess now. I never did find what's her name to give her the cauliflower. Oops.
Jody.
Yeah. But how are you, Nick Dothy? I hope you're doing good. Well, I can't adventure very far because the time's up, sadly. Just chop down a couple trees while time passes. Da-da-da. Spaghetti!
I'm organizing.
I will protect you from the baddies while you're
Thank you.
organizing. My inventory says it's full. Oops.
I do need to.
Pick up grass as you walk by.
Yeah, obviously.
That's what you totally needed to do.
It was the highest thing on my priorities.
Oops. And oh yeah, I'll throw away this leak. There's a leak.
Oh
There.
god.
Time to sleep.
Oh god.
It's sad.
Whew.
They fixed a thing.
God damn, how'd you get all them fish?
Mm-hmm. Breaking all the rules. This is why I'm glad we have the other game where it's not tempting because Rain can't follow the rules. And if she doesn't turn on Vortex, then we're safe.
Wasn't that terrible tax, okay? I
Huh?
just didn't want to wait forever for all those fucking fish.
Are we getting out?
Yeah, I think we're gonna end it there. Rain needs sleep.
Mm.
I
I'm just
mean,
gonna
I do
put
as
some
well.
stuff into
So.
a trunk.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Same.
Let's see. I didn't even start the other glass of wine though. I got.
I know, I didn't even refill. I got liquid IV like I'm fucking 90.
It's all good. It's all good. It's good
Fair.
for you.
I haven't really touched much of my drink.
Aren't we a partying bunch?
It's like I've been mostly
Let's
drinking
see.
like Pepsi. I'm not a huge fan of raspberry, which is probably why I got.
But yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for lurking. Thank you for playing. And what's my next date for streaming? Let me look at my calendar real quick and tell you guys.
Tuesday, probably?
Yeah, I think we're doing another.
Is it
Or
Sunday?
is it
Tuesday? We're skipping Sunday, probably. Maybe look. Or did we skip last
we're
Sunday? Let me look.
No, I think we played last Sunday. I think we're skipping this Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes, we did play last Sunday. Okay, so yeah, Tuesday is the next stream, and it's the same save. So
Yeah.
go with that. We'll see if anybody shows up, and then we can continue where we left off, and maybe we'll remember where we left off. I probably need to make notes to myself because we don't. I'm not gonna remember. Gonna be like. But at least this one is just like haphazard. We kind of do whatever we want anyway, so it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
Everyone's kind of running their own farm, just
Thank you so much for the
like we have a little
minis,
commune.
Queen.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we're neighbors, literally. We just are literally neighbors doing our own thing and occasionally helping each other with something.
It takes a village.
Instead of like working together, like on the other farm, it's like all dependent on teamwork. This one is the opposite. We don't have to be a team. We can do whatever, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Other than we need more robins. I'm sorry. One carpenter at a time sucks. Which takes 3 days to build something. And we all want the carpenter's help.
Yeah.
I was about to go and have her do something too when you did, right? And I was like, dang it, I gotta wait now 3 days. I know. I wanted a horse. I have 87 hardwood.
We don't even have a fish pond yet.
We don't care. I wanted a horse. I was like, I want a horse. I was like, I don't know, because we're doing our own thing, so we can be weird and do whatever. But I could be reasonable to upgrade the barns and stuff. But I was like, you know what?
No, you want a
horse.
horse.
In this save. I want a horse. So I was gonna get a horse, but it takes 100 hardwood, and I have 87, so I need a couple more pieces.
I have
Okay.
some hiding in my one of my chests in my house. Like, you could take it if you need it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
okay.
I've got some around my house too somewhere.
Well, we'll get there. But thank you guys. Thank you so much, Shane. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, maybe I'll remember that was my goal next time I come back. Get a horse. Get a horse. And upgrade barns.
We'll help you remember.
Okay, and this is group. I'm just gonna call it purple group. I'm gonna stop calling it numbers because I don't know. First,
Yeah,
this
you
is the
forget
purple
what
group.
number.
Yeah, and this is the pink group. So I got the pink group wrote down, the purple group, and then my individual save by myself. So I know which one. It's bad. We got 3 games going on, so I gotta keep notes. Oh, what I'm doing right. It's so bad. My brain just can't remember that many save files at one time.
Oh, that's fair.
But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope you have a wonderful, relaxing rest of your Friday night. And I will see you guys Tuesday out there. So if I do not see you around in Discord. But have a good night, everyone. And let me see something real quick. And yeah, we're gonna end it there. So, okay. If I can find my screen, I can't find my screens here. Hold on. Okay. All right, but yeah, good night, everyone.